It is Tuesday, so you know that we talk to our injury insider, our guy, the celebrity around town, Dr. Jeff Pierce. His visit powered by Amon-Ra of Southfield, the purveyor of the Michigan Sports and Spine Center, an all-around good guy, and a man about town, a celebrity in his own right. He can't even go to Monday Night Football without getting bothered by people, right?
Nah.
I'm kidding.
I'm the humble doc in the corner that trying to make a little bit of a difference. But
you met someone at the game last night, as a matter of fact.
We're starting with this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we talk about Mumford & Sons, all that stuff. All right. Yeah, so big shout out to a big fan of Woodward Sports that it's a testament to what we do, and especially for me. I mean, I'm kind of on the back nine of my career, and, why do I do this? Basically it's to educate people. And when you come up to me as fans or people of Woodward Sports or patients and say, I've heard, I hear you, you break it down, you make it simple, you inspire me to do more. That's what inspires me to show up every week and with my crazy schedule. So yesterday was great because I was at the Lions game with my two kids and I sat them in their seats and I was going up to my seat. And the Lions actually was scoring a touchdown. So I pulled into a row and just sat there for a minute and cheered. And the gentleman behind me tapped me on my back and said, "Hey, are you the doctor?" Woodward. I watch that all the time. Where are you from? Blah, I'm from Iowa. I'm like, wow. And then he goes, I'm Jack Campbell's dad.
Shout out.
So, and he just did a huge, we talked for a lot, but shout out to him. Hopefully he's listening today. But I don't want to get into it a lot. But we bonded. It was great. He played football himself. I have roots in Iowa also. So it was just kind of a mentality. And I actually told him how last year we talked about how his son is just a beast.
Yeah.
And he really is a beast. And it was funny. It was in the first quarter where he had a massive tackle, I think on third down to save, and the whole area went crazy. And then I realized I was sitting with all the families. Mama Gibbs was in front of us. So it was all that. So it was pretty cool to be, one, recognized, one, told that, hey, you are making a difference. I enjoy listening to you. But he did admit his favorite show is the heavyweights, and Spence is his guy.
Let's go!
Shout out there.
On brand.
And Easy's funny as hell, he said.
Shout out Papa Campbell, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fire.
And I'll say it like this, Doc.
Your son's the best linebacker in the NFL.
And it wasn't always viewed that way. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't always viewed that way. I
still don't understand it.
But I'll say this to you, Doc. What he has shown, because you talk about mental toughness all the time, and does he have like the physical traits, like the Micah Parsons physical traits and stuff like that? No, but you know what he does? He always makes the tackle. He's always in the right spot.
He finishes. And
he's tough as hell, and he finishes.
Yes.
And I've always contended, being in, Division I athletics and college Division I athletics, the dog is inside you. I feel like that can't be created. It can't be crafted. You're either born with that or you're not born with that. Am I wrong in that assumption?
You're born with an extra fire in your belly. But it's also, and I wanted to talk about it, the parents play a huge role, right? I mean, not to bring it up for Darren, but Darren, his father played a huge role in his life. I'm with Gervin, who had a single mom growing up. I mean, family was so strong, but that unity, just seeing the mentality of the gentleman, talking to him for a little bit, that mentality spreads. He played football. He has a mentality that nobody's going to give you anything. You got to earn it every day. I forget who, the big hitter, Judge. I think one of the comments he made, I had the unbelievable night, and my dad says, "That's great. We're going to celebrate today, but you got to show up tomorrow. You start at 0 in the morning." Yeah. It's not like you can live off of your past. A lot of people were like that. Kobe was like that. Magic was like that. You have to show up every day, but you're right. The belly inside you, that's a mental beyond mental, right? You shut everything off. You you don't feel anything. And I see it more, not to do a shout out to hockey, but I see it more in hockey players.
Yeah.
Hockey players are just beasts.
And they're crazy. Let's be real. They're crazy.
There's a psychological factor at all ends on this.
Like, does that look like a normal guy to you, right?
Well, let's break this down, like the linebacker, right? So what do we know from our football acumen over the years? That the special linebackers are different, right? The top of the top, that they are a little different. What I'm seeing out of Jack Campbell and is the combination of a Stephen Boyd, Chris Spielman developing into that, because he lets his actions speak for himself. You're not going to hear him talk. You see him get the game ball and it's just like, yeah, guys, great work and stuff like that. It's his actions, and we see his actions, the eyeball test of making those tackles, but having that fierceness. That's what it reminds me of what Spielman was like, or Stephen Boyd was like back in the day, just a little bit different, but leading in that way. And it is whatever it is, it's built at a young age, and it comes from your parents and being motivated and stuff like that. But he's just like, go to work. He is the epitome of Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Right, Jack. I mean, is it makes sense that his last name's Campbell? You know what I'm just saying, like as far as anybody on that roster, right? If Dan Campbell morphed into any one of his players, it would be Jack, in my opinion. It would be Jack Campbell, and he plays that way. They have this sort of connection, and you see the growth and the evolution. You brought it up earlier about third year guys in Brad's system and stuff like this, starting to get it, starting to slow down. What I see is the game slowing down for him. What are we seeing now, Spenny? And that's the subtle savageness, right? If you watched late when he had one-on-one downfield and lockdown, was it White or whatever like this, and then just subtly after, just lock the seatbelt on. He gets better in coverage, which is probably one of the weakest things. He's going to be unbelievable, but it's the progress that you've seen in the leadership, and it's that quiet leader, because the best that have played in this organization sort of let their actions speak for themselves, and that's why the DBs and the Hutch and everybody around them can be the energy. You got the Amon-Ra on the offense and those guys, but Jack Campbell, like, that's what the linebacker. And we mentioned it earlier, but those three linebackers, healthy, and Barnes, Anzalone, and Campbell, are arguably the top linebacking crew in this league. They're going to get some time off, right? They know what it's going to be. It's going to help guys like Barnes, refocus and stuff like this. But that's the integral part, and to watch that, and it always goes back to, Neil, what we were told. What did Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes tell us? Now we're seeing it, right? So let's just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Woodward Sports chat thread up for speculation. D-Mac's wisdom is unparalleled. Someone also said you look like a Civil War era general. So
thank you.
The compliments keep coming.
Yeah, we're talking here with Dr. Jeff Pierce as we always do on Tuesdays. Doc, kind of shifting gears a little bit, because people asked this in the chat. The Mike Evans injury yesterday.
Right.
Turns out broken clavicle. I mean, he had a hold of the ball. My buddies and I were sitting around watching it. Mike Evans, who catches everything, to see him just drop a football, you knew it was bad right away, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for him, because they were so excited to get him back. And he laid out. I mean, he put his skill on the line, and it's unfortunate where it hit and compressed and created that fracture. I think he had a mild concussion too, correct?
I believe so. I believe so, yeah. It was bad. Yeah,
so it was bad. He was laying there. It's unfortunate. You get, I mean, the clavicle is well exposed. Again, the clavicle from the bone from your sternum to your shoulder is that big bone that's very fragile. It's probably the most fragile bone up front. And if you hit it just right on a certain angle, like he did probably with the football, the compression, it's a fragile bone. I mean, it's kind of like your fibula, but the fibula in your leg from your knee down to your ankle is more useless, where the clavicle is very important to stabilize that position from the middle of your neck to your shoulder. So that's going to be a problem, major problem.
We saw the Bucs too, a lot of hamstring issues, which certainly Lions fans, I won't feel bad for them because as a Lions fan, we have a lot of guys with hamstring issues. It's so like
we're gonna do a show just on hamstrings.
We should do a segment on it. For real.
I have the anatomy all teed up. So
the difference between being able to play and playing well because of the hamstring, Doc. Break that down for me a little bit because they were out there, they just weren't out there, and we have guys that are on the shelf right now with it too.
The hamstring is such a powerful muscle. Again, it's not one muscle; it's multiple muscles, multiple ligaments, attachment from your buttocks all the way down to your knee and a little bit past. And there's an ischium, which is the little dimple area below the dimple area, kind of where your buttocks is, where you can kind of push. That's the attachment of all those muscles. So you're talking about different levels, right? We've said when it's closer to the bone, it's more concerning. When it's mid-belly, it's less concerning. More abilities to recover and return. But also, there is some secret sauce, there is some wrapping, there is some taping, and aggressive therapy to get that back quicker. Why we're seeing so many right now, I don't think we're highlighting it. There must be something in the training programs they're not creating that muscle balance appropriate. Do
guys not work it like in the weight room?
No, they could be overworking it. They could be shortening it. That's my biggest issue. A lot of times, the guys who walk around I got biceps and pretty muscles, but they can't reach their arm all the way out because you strengthen it, but life will take it all the way out for full length, and that's usually where the injury comes from. So are they fully strengthening and fully lengthening the muscle is really something I would look at. So it's becoming so common, we're going to actually look into it, dive into it a little bit deeper.
Doc, all right, lastly, before we let you go here, you've been playing hurt, okay? And I've been curious about this, and I wanted to ask you about this last week, and I couldn't. But you kind of broke down a little bit the situation you have going on. So what it's the elbow, right?
What I did is I tried to move something that was very resistant with all my power, and I hyperextended my elbow so it fully went beyond where it should, and my muscles and my extensor muscles got pretty much damaged. So I tore a muscle actually right here and right here.
Oh, so muscle tears we're talking. Okay.
Well, it's partial tears because I can isolate it. But the thing is, it took me back to be humble that, one, what the heck are you doing? A split-second decision, which you had no way of actually completing what I thought I was going to do. So the mental toughness of my age, I wasn't 22. So that was number one problem. Number two, I shouldn't have done it. Number three is the way I still completed it. So I finished what I was doing, and then over the next hour, it just got worse. But the big thing with me is it humbled me back to the basics, right? I needed to brace it. I needed to ice it. I needed to take meds. I needed to secure it. For me, I have a lot of tools. My therapist was working on it day one. So I'm probably 60% better.
Okay.
I braced it. I finished my job. I didn't shut down or take the day off or anything.
Who doctors the doctor? Do you take care of that yourself? Do you go see somebody? How does that work for I've always been curious about this. If
for someone at my level?
Yes. Yeah,
no,
what do you do?
I'm being funny. I don't trust too many people. I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant, but I know a lot about the musculoskeletal system just through the years. So I knew what was going on. Everybody's like, oh, you got to get imaging. Someone said you got to get it's nothing to do with x-ray. If anything, I would have done a dynamic musculoskeletal ultrasound to look at the inflammation and look at how much of a tear.
You would have somebody do that though, right?
Yeah, my team would do it.
Okay.
All my team would do would be the ones working on
I'm
me.
fascinated by this. Do you prescribe the secret sauce to yourself? Do you secret sauce the secret? How does it work?
I'm probably going to get a little secret sauce if it doesn't feel 100% by the end of next week.
The chat rejoices. The chat rejoices.
Self-saucer. It says Chuck Brewer.
A self-saucer.
Self-saucer in the chat. Yeah.
No, but the point is that immediate attention to an injury, and this is the message I want to give everybody, got me. I'm a week later, and I'm functional again, where I couldn't lift, I couldn't open, I couldn't wipe my, It was everything on my right side. I mean, it was from a functional level, and we make fun of little injuries, but you don't realize how much I'm right-sided dominant. I don't realize how much I use my right hand. Just getting out of the car, I couldn't get out of the car because I used my right hand on the steering wheel and pull myself out. I mean, it's just, you got to get to the right person, the right doc. If things are happening, like with me, it was an exact, I felt the pop, I felt the tear, I knew something was wrong, immediate attention. But if you're lingering at 2 weeks, you need to see a specialist, not your primary care all the time. It's your specialist when you have a musculoskeletal injury.
And
with me, the ice was huge, the anti-inflammatories were huge, the bracing and resting was huge. And I've already re-aggravated 3 times because of stupid stuff.
Why don't you listen to the doctor?
I cannot. I keep testing it. My therapist, basically said, don't do that. You're going to feel a little better. Let it heal. Don't keep testing it.
I'm salty in the chat. I love hearing from this doc because I feel healthier just hearing him talk. There's some questions, too, about the hamstring stuff. Dilemma in the chat says, so it's on strength and conditioning coaches with a question mark?
So, like we did this, I keep going back to it, and I love referring to Darren. It's a time we had a lot of sports hernias. Something's going different. We were forward flexing, strengthening them, and their world is forward flex position, which is part of it, but life will get you. You'll get hit. You'll be extended. Same thing with the hamstrings. If they're overpowering those hamstrings with just a simple leg curl, right? Everybody knows what a leg curl is. You're shortening. If they're not fully extending, then that's kind of what we're doing, because in a athlete, in a football player, they're in that position, right? It makes them more powerful in that position. But when you take them into the reality of life and the changes of it, you're going to get that full extension that you need to do. So it's just a theory right now. It's not proven. But if they're shortening those hamstring muscles to get them stronger and more powerful for their first step, it's going to bother them when they start changing directions and directional changes. And there's just too many to say it's coincidental.
Woodward Sports Chat John Hughes. So even doctors don't listen to their doctors. Sounds about right. So there.
Hey, I'm feeling better.
There you go.
I'm 60 to 70% better.
Real quickly, Doc, before we ride out of here, people are talking about the new guys that were cramping. We talked about it yesterday too when I was with my buddies. Watch it, like the hydrating process, all that kind of stuff. Break that down for us real quick.
Hydration is so underrated. And these guys are used to practice fields. They're not going a full game like that in the fourth quarter. You have to rehydrate during the game, but you have to prepare too.
The night before, you got to start doing that, right?
The night before, 2 days, the week before. I mean, however you want to exaggerate it, but it's a preparation of your body to be at that level. That's what I'm saying. Conditioned elite athletes are way beyond, but usually a lot of it is they're not rehydrating enough during the game, and they're maybe used to not playing as many downs, and they were able to do it, but now because they were playing and they didn't have that chance, I think it was more of a rehydration during. And it's not just water which is rehydration. You have to have the electrolytes and all these gels and all these secret stuff, and whatever drink it is. I mean, you look at tennis, they're the guys that are out there the longest. You see all those flavored colored drinks that they're putting in themselves. Same thing with the football players. It's just in a Gatorade bottle.
All right, Doc, as always, we appreciate the time. We're up against it now, but thank you, and we'll be back at it next Tuesday, my friend.
All right, thanks
Doc.
All right,
Shout out, Doc.
Shout out to Dr. Pierce.
Shout out, Papa Campbell.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're done here, I guess. All right, but yeah, big shout out to Dr. Pierce for pulling up. DMAC for KG, for Spencer Raxter, I'm Neil Rule. Thanks for tapping into Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network on a Victory Tuesday. Well, see you.